Okay, peace, Sandra. And yeah, this is going to be a continuation of your reading. So I just have my notes right here, so I'm gonna be looking, you know what I'm saying? So, first thing that I wanted to talk about is your Mercury oppose Mercury. Like your Mercury is in Gemini, his Mercury is in Sagittarius. So, this creates an opposition. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication. It deals with intellectual energies, and in a sense, how one perceives the world. So, Gemini is a very witty, flexible, playful type of energy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this just indicates that when it comes to your communication style, you may be more free flowing and more um, open, to like just take things lightheartedly and play around with, through your communication style. Whereas Sagittarius is more like philosophical, they're more serious a little bit compared to Gemini. And they're also blunt, because Sagittarius is a fire sign. So, on one hand, this promotes great communicative abilities between the two of you, where you guys can communicate in a manner that can be expansive. He may provide great mental stimulation to you, and he might know a great deal of things as well that you may not have been attentive or aware of. Like him being a Sagittarius, Mercury and a Sagittarius in general, does make him to be a very philosophical person, you know what I'm saying? And so this kind of just reinforces that blockage in communication, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like you guys are going to need to learn to adjust um, adjust to each other's communication styles. Like you're more open to free flowing and kind of allowing things to happen, um, and try to adapt to the changing scenarios. Whereas with the Mercury and Sagittarius energy, he may be a type who may try to be a bit more controlling with things. Yeah, a bit more controlling in communication, and to the extent where like he may even try to control your way of thinking, we can say. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Like kind of not so much having, because Sagittarius is the teacher, as Gemini is the student. So in communication, there can be this energy of like teacher student phenomena that may manifest, where he may feel like at times he knows better and so you should listen, and so he may disregard your communication to be somewhat childlike and childish, right? And so the thing is, Gemini is more into the details, right? They're more into exploring the little pictures, and they may be more present, and they may want to experience like good things in the present moment. Whereas Sagittarius is more inclined towards the bigger picture, and they're more seeing things um, in the long run. And so that's another way that things may. It's another way that things may clash. But it's not like seeing things in the long run in a realistic way, because that'd be like Capricorn, because Capricorn is earthy and it's more about material energies. It's more so about seeing things in the perspective of like philosophically, or kind of allowing one to. It's kind of like the energy of YOLO, like you only live once, so you might as well be free spirited and live life to the fullest ability. And also seeing things in the long term, as in like seeing things as journeys and adventures. And this can play out in an energy where like the Mercury Sagittarius individual may neglect certain mundane things, certain day-to-day things, because either they're way too in their heads, or way into their heads, or way inclined towards their self and their own selfish needs and desires. Like Mercury in Sagittarius, like, because you got to understand that Sagittarius is a fire sign. You know what I'm saying? So they're more inclined towards their own personal, unique journey. So this can even be an indication of he is more inclined towards talking about philosophy, science, things that he may have learned, and things that he may feel are concrete, whereas you may be more open to just talking in general about ideas, about your thoughts, and about what you're going through. And so the point here is one person is focused on the bigger picture and kind of the larger scheme of things, you know. So this can even be like in the relationship, he may not pay attention to the little things he does, but he may just look at overall the big things that he's doing for you. And so he may think that is enough and that's good enough. But then as a Mercury and Gemini, you may be more concerned with the mundane and the day-to-day things. So that's where the clash in communication happens, where it's like he may be communicating to you about long-term things. You may be and like when there's an opposition, it creates this energy of separation. So there may be an energy where you guys don't even communicate like that, where you guys kind of just reserve and allow yourself to sit with your thoughts. So what this means is that there is definitely a need for you guys to open up communication between you two. You know what I'm saying? And so this that's the opposition. And now we also have an inquunx or an in conjunction between your Mars and his Mars and your Mars. So your Mars is in Gemini, you know. Mars is the planet of passion. It deals with like one's sex drive and all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying? So his approach on sex and just passion in general, him having his Mars in Scorpio, it's more intense, you know what I'm saying? He may be more like fixated and focused where his passionate energies are concerned. Whereas you are a little bit more Geminian, which means free flowing and willing to explore and somewhat detached. Like he may be very attached when it comes to the sexual energies. But beyond that, this is also a power and control type of dynamic, which we'll get into. Because Mars, does play that energy of power and control. So with him having his Mars in Scorpio, he may be more inclined towards wanting to kind of control you, you know what I'm saying, and assert his dominance in certain ways. But with you having your Mars in Gemini, right, you may be intellectually witty enough to see certain things in that energy or in that area of ways in which he may want to try to control. So what happens is there's like this power and control dynamic, and there's like a clash. And it's like you guys have to learn to, in a sense, accommodate each other's desires for control and power in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? With Mars. With Mars, with his Mars in... Hold on, sorry, I'm thinking. With his Mars in Scorpio and your Mars in Gemini. So this is like a water, air type of combination, you know. So water and air, they have a better compatibility than earth and air, but water and air don't completely mix, you know. And I think we talked about this previously, because air likes to be lighthearted, and it kind of likes to experiment and explore and be free going, you know. Whereas water can be more attached and more conservative, you know. And so the dynamic here can be like, he may make you feel at times like he's trying to stop you from doing certain things or from expressing yourself. Like Gemini has this desire to want to be free, but his Mars in Scorpio may make you feel like and I think like this isn't just only you, but he has certain not experiences, but feelings where he may also feel like there are certain things that you do that may make him feel like he's kind of somewhat restricted. Now, if you guys learn to resolve the energy of power and control, like the power and control dynamic, then the relationship will flow much more smoothly and fluently. You know, he may be more more internally reserved with his intentions and the things that he does, but you are more open in communicating and letting him know what's going on. And so that's where like that in conjunction happens as well, because you're communicating like your moves and your intentions and this and the third and the fourth about what you're going to do and what your ambitions may be or your intentions. But he, with his Mars and Scorpio, he's more comfortable moving behind the scenes and being somewhat more secretive. And so yeah, that is definitely another energy that you guys will need to, look into working on and resolving. Another in conjunction is happening, well, okay, like your guys' Venus trines each other. You know what I'm saying? Like his Venus is in Capricorn, whereas your Venus is in Taurus. So this is good. This is a good energy. Venus is like the planet of affection, relating with others. And so because you guys are in a relationship, it's more intimate, right? So talk more so on the affection part of things. Taurus is more grounded and more sensual and affectionate, whereas Capricorn is more realistic and serious, and it's about willing to settle down and take responsibilities, But then it's like his sun is in Sagittarius. So his sun being in Sagittarius kind of influences this responsibility aspect of the Venus in Capricorn, because Sagittarius wants to be free and kind of wants to explore and adventure, and go with the way of life in the sense of being spontaneous and not so much fixated in their way of thinking. Way of thinking as well, but like way of acting, they're always open and ready to do whatever. So they may not, like Capricorn and Sagittarius, they're not really a good mix, because Capricorn is all about responsibility and being weighed down by your responsibilities. Capricorn is like learning to gain freedom through responsibility. But for the most part though, with him having his Venus in the Capricorn, with the variation, the adjustment that Sagittarius makes, he is a person who has the ability to settle down, and once his responsibilities are outlined and he knows what he needs to do, then because Sagittarius is like the sign of the archer, right? So before the archer can like shoot the bow into the target, it has to know what the target is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once he's aware of what his target is, then it's better for him to shoot for the target. You know what I'm saying? But prior to his awareness of the target, he kind of just free flows and goes with the flow. But the compatibility here, does show that you guys, in a sense, understand each other's needs for affection, and your love languages are compatible, right? Like your love language is touch, and his love language may be time, like spending time with you, which can be altered with the Sagittarius energy, it can be altered, but yeah, that can definitely be one of them. And also gifts, right? Because Taurus you may be more of the one who likes giving gifts. But it's the same thing with Gemini as well. Gemini and Sagittarius, although opposite signs, one thing they have in similarity and commonality is their desire for freedom and their desire not to be, bogged down. So, yeah, it may be important to, analyze and look at in what ways in the relationship you yourself may feel like he's in certain ways holding you from your goals or holding you from expressing yourself freely. And then kind of getting together and communicating and trying to resolve that energy, because like with your guys' relationships, there are a couple of good things in there for sure, like the Venus trine Venus, which promotes an awareness of what each other's intimate needs are where affection is concerned. But then you have a good amount of oppositions, which is going to kind of create this hardship energy. But the cool thing about oppositions is once you integrate them, because when you're dealing with opposition, you're dealing with Saturn energy. So you're dealing with trials and tribulation, you're dealing with time, you're dealing with labor. It is going to take time and it is going to take hard work and effort. But once it's solidified, then there's going to be a foundation there. And so it's definitely worth working on, but it's important to understand that in the relationship, communication is going to be an essential, what I'm saying? And also another thing of essential is learning how to integrate with one another's desire for power and control, and coming to a compromise and a middle ground, in which where you're not always fully in control and he's not always fully in control, but coming together and be like, this is what I want to do and this is what I want to do, and like meet each other in the middle. That may be one thing that could work. Another thing also is your Jupiter and his Jupiter are in conjunct. You have a couple of inconjunctions, aka inconjunctions. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, the planet of growth and philosophy. So this kind of indicates that your guys' viewpoints on life, because Jupiter is like your experiences and the knowledge and wisdom you have extracted, from your experiences. So Jupiter is like experiences that you have had, and what type of viewpoint around life those experiences have brought you to, and how you go on to continue to grow and expand through life, because Jupiter is like your knowledge and your wisdom. So your knowledge and wisdom versus his knowledge and wisdom kind of miss each other, like his viewpoint on how he thinks he should grow and expand and experience life may not completely align with your viewpoints on how you feel like you should grow, expand, and experience life. And so this is also like a clash, somewhat of a clash or a misunderstanding, where your guys' viewpoint on beliefs is concerned, And so it really creates a learning opportunity for the two of you to learn from each other, because your viewpoints on life may just be so different. like maybe you, he's a Sagittarius, so I wonder where his Mercury is. Okay, yeah, his Mercury is in Sagittarius as well, so I'm pretty sure he's most likely philosophical, and he's also probably spiritual, and he has depths about him, from his chart, I would assume, or I would see. But yeah, it is just an indication, simply put, that your guys' beliefs on things are different. Like for you may feel like it's important that before you do something, you think about it, and you gather information, and you're kind of aware, and you ask questions before you jump into it. But for him, he may follow his intuition, and he may act on impulse more in life and the things that he does in life, and he may be more inclined towards following his passion and going into an unknown situation with the mentality of like, I'll figure it out as I go, but for you, it's like you need to know before you go. But yeah, so I'll come back with some more information for sure. I just kind of wanted to share this insight with you. All right, peace. Talk to you again.